Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Mandy.
And we are two Mandys on a mission, bringing you behind the scenes of our local businesses and events. We are with Bridwell Pro Rodeos about 1 year after the first time we met with them. So excited, we're heading into rodeo season. Last year when we met with them, we learned all about the Bridwell buckers and about some equipment used with the horses. And so this year we're going to learn a little bit about the baby buckers. So can you tell us about the babies?
Yeah, I can. I'm Tim Bridwell from Bridwell Pro Rodeos, and this is my wife, Haley. And we are just outside of town here in Red Bluff, and as you can see, the grass has finally started here in Northern California, and that big yellow ball up there, that's called the sun. We haven't seen that in a while. So,
It's a beautiful day.
yes, it is. So we'd like to thank you for coming out and seeing us, and obviously here we're with the mares and colts, and we're having babies born pretty much every day. Pretty much all the mares will have their babies within February and March. That's our target time for them, but usually the weather's straightening up like now, and then it works well for our breeding cycle because as you can see, when the sun comes out and there's a lot it's more conducive for the mares to cycle and for the stud to be able to breed them back. And so that hits our target time. A horse is pregnant for 11 months and 11 days, and generally speaking, when they have their baby, they'll have what's called their full heat from 7 to 10 days after the baby's born, and that's when you want to get them impregnated again so that the baby's born the same time the next year, right? So that allows us to buck our mares as well as breed them. A lot of the mares you see here will have, when they're done raising these babies for a couple, 3 months, well, we wean our colts a little bit younger than a lot of people do, but we find that it works well for us because it keeps our mares active and it keeps our mares in pretty good shape because we rodeo with them, and it gets the colts off them and it doesn't turn them into what so-and-so called an old brood mare where they break down and stuff like that. So keeps them in shape, keeps them healthy, and then it also does another thing for us is it gets our colts gentle, because when you hand feed them and you raise them up young like what I'm talking about, you know, when they're only a couple of months old, we put them on a high protein ration and hand feed them every day, and as you guys know, we have children and our kids feed them and everything, and what happens is they learn young to be pretty gentle and pretty good to be around. One of the biggest misconceptions in the rodeo business is that these horses are wild. Well, as you can see, they're not that wild.
Yeah, we're standing out here in the field with them, and we're perfectly safe.
You ask about feeding them now, though. So right now, we're not going to be able to feed them because the moms are still pretty protective. These colts are still, the oldest one here is about 4 weeks old, 6 weeks old. So the moms are still pretty protective of them. So they're not going to really let us feed them right now. But once they go home to the ranch and we're around them every day, like Tim said, they'll start becoming a lot more docile and friendly, and we'll get to where we can pet them.
And how young? What's the youngest one?
That one right there that's walking with the black mother, that's Gypsy Soul. That colt was born probably last night or yesterday, because I checked her. I checked her 2 days ago and she hadn't had it. So, yeah, it's pretty young. And as you can see, she's not too bad protective. Some of the moms won't bring the babies in until they're 2 or 3 days old, or even a week old. I can't find her right. Well, she's anyway, a bay mare over there, Angel Eyes. She'll keep her baby hid out, and you can't hardly find her. This property that we're on here is like 700 acres, and you'd think that she got away, but she's hiding somewhere around here. And then she'll show up when she feels confident that the baby's safe and can travel. Then she'll bring him in. But anyway, so back to our deal. You'll see that these mares are eating grain right now. We feed them grain. That's part of the other process we're talking about getting these colts on to feed and eating good. That's one of the biggest tricks to weaning them young is you can't just take them right off their mother's milk and grass and feed them grain. They have to learn to eat grain, and their teeth have to get hard, and there's certain things that have to happen for them to be able to develop properly. So for us, it's very important that their moms are showing them how to eat grain, and they get used to eating it, right? So the animals are really funny, and they're very smart at the same time. They learn from their moms so much that how to survive. Just know whether you're an elk or a deer or a horse, you know. So that's how we do it.
So we heard from Haley that you have a stud from Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about the stud, why you have him here now on the property with the mares? And
this is him right here.
Yeah. So like we said, you know, the mares are having the babies right now. So ideally, that stud will breed them back on what we call the foal heat. This stud, his mother is probably one of the most famous mares in the rodeo business now, and her name's Resistol's Top Hat. And so that's his mother, and she's obviously real well bred. Her father was a famous stud called Nightjack, and her mother is probably the most famous bucking horse mare, or one of the most famous bucking horse mares ever. They come from a man named Jim Zenzer in Michigan, and the mother of Resistol's top hat, her name is Scarlet. Anyway, so she's raised lots and lots of good horses. So that's the mother's side of that stud, and then the dad of that stud is a stud called Big Daddy, and Big Daddy is a really old stud. He's like 25, I think now, and Big Daddy's an own son of a famous custer. And so this horse here probably has as much genetic ability as any stud in the North America. With it, and I don't want to sound arrogant. We're very blessed to have gotten him, a good friend of ours, owns Resistol's top hat, and obviously owns a stud. He's 6 years old, and
we have him here so that we can, up our gene pool. And so you don't ever want to just, keep the genetics and keep even if it's working, you want to continually expand your gene pool. So that's why in the rodeo business, these guys are really good about sharing genetics and trading and crossing and mares that work and studs that work. And that's how we keep the bucking horse population in America and Canada growing and going so well. So
right, and to add to what Haley said, it's really important that you, as a horse owner, you breed responsibly. And what I mean by that, and this is a very slippery slope and a touchy subject a little bit with people, but there's a lot of people that have animals that quite frankly, that are not great performance animals, whether it's a saddle horse or a dog or a bucking horse or a beef cow. It's important to us to be stewards to our animals and breed responsibly, so for the performance, Mm-hmm. and so the other side of that is it's too expensive to raise something that doesn't turn out. You got a lot of we have to put as many eggs in your basket as you can to get that thing to turn out right, and so that for us it's very important. It starts right here with raising, obviously trying to genetically raise the right kind of colts, and then so that when they're 2 and 3 years old and we start bucking them and going through the process to create the bucking horses that we need for the rodeos that we put on, that we can provide them with a quality product.
At what age do they start bucking?
So we'll try them out when they're 2 years old.
With a dummy.
With a dummy. And when I say when you try them out with a dummy, and what Haley means by that is it's really important. It's
not just any dummy. You don't want your average
It's going to be
dummy.
the special dummy.
And I want to come around so we can while you're talking to us, can we take a look at some of these?
Right.
If they let us get close.
Well, they're not going to let us get terribly close, but they'll let us walk around a little bit. And you'll see in this group of mares, there's a lot of middle-aged mares, but yet there's some older mares in here. And so I want the people to know that are watching, if you see a couple of the mares that look a little bit less fleshy than you would like to see, well, that's just because they got a lot of age on them. And we got to start. And those mares actually, now that the grass is starting and the fillery will be coming good and stuff, they'll straighten up here within the next couple weeks, a month. So that's,
and the grass is finally green.
Yeah, right. And that big yellow ball up there is going to help, like I was talking about. So anyway, but back to what you were talking about, trying them out when they're 2 and 3 years old. It's just like the Kentucky Derby, sort of. In the Kentucky Derby, you don't just show up and race in the Derby, right?
Right.
There's a lot of training and a lot of things that go into it to make the horses prepared for what you're going to do with them. And that's, for us, our system works where when we dummy them, we have a contraption, and actually Haley did a little thing on it with on our Facebook thing at Bridwell Pro Rodeos Facebook page, and we went through a whole sequence of how we do it. When they're when we put this contraption on them, we call it a bucking dummy, and it's basically a 15-pound box, and you'd put it right where like the saddle goes on a horse, or where the rigging would go on, and you let them out of the chute, and you just snug up the flank, and as they go out, they'll buck and kind of develop a pattern with just the dummy, no people on them or anything, and it's in a controlled environment out at home where it's real quiet, all that. So
and we go slow and let them adapt and not be scared, and let them kind of figure out what we're doing and what our intentions are before they actually try it. And they don't try it for 8 seconds.
Right.
They
So with a dummy, you see what you want to see, and what I mean by that is a style of bucking that's conducive for the cowboys to get a good score, as well as the animal being under control and staying on their feet. Obviously, just like us when we were kids and we started playing baseball or basketball, we stumbled and fell down and did all the things that weren't as coordinated, right? The same with the horses. It takes them a little bit of time to get their pattern developed and get their feet under them, so to speak. And so we'll do that when they're 2 and 3, and then when they're 4 and they get bigger and stronger and then they're ready for riders, then we'll start by having riders get on them. Another misconception in the rodeo business is a lot of guys like to put high school kids on their young horses. I absolutely disagree with that, because the high school kids, they're scared and they don't really know what they're doing either. I mean, we used to do it that way. I'll be straightforward with you. That's how we used to do it, but that wasn't good for the horse or the kid. You know, you ended up just usually they bucked them right off, and they were. I like to get some of the pro guys that are a little older and that know what they're doing to get on them, and then we'll get a couple of trips on them before we take them to a rodeo, so that when we take them to the rodeo, they're not that much is new to them.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
So, can you tell us about some of the rodeos coming up, and are we going to see any of these buckers at rodeos coming up?
Well, actually, so these colts are all going to be featured in the opening at our own Red Bluff Roundup here in a couple weeks,
right.
Third week of April. So
Right
get your
there on
tickets
the
on
sweatshirt.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, right here on the sweatshirt. So get your tickets now. But these girls will not be bucking there. We'll bring them to town, feature the babies. Down the road, more May, June is when these girls will get back into competition. We got to let them finish their nurturing process here, and then probably around Reading Rodeo time, they will.
yeah, some of the mares will crack back out about the Reading time by the time.
Third week of May.
Yeah, and not all of them, you know, it depends, you know, obviously we'll talk about the age of the colts and stuff like that. We can't wean them, I mean, you can't wean them too young, you know. I mean, we wean them young enough. We don't need to push it that hard.
Yeah.
We got lots of other horses to use too. Yeah.
Let the boys carry the load for a while. And
Well, and then we got a lot of young mares that aren't out here, that aren't being bred and things like that. This is just a select group that the ones that have really been successful in their own careers, or that we know their colts already buck. You know, there's a lot of mares around well, I can't name one right now in particular that I could tell you that a famous, I mean, like Raggedy Ann's way over there and stuff. But there's some famous mares here that have colts old enough that their colts are really good. So those are the ones obviously you want to breed back. So.
Well, speaking of Reading Rodeo, we have
Yes.
a giveaway.
Yes, our giveaway. So, do you want to tell? I'm gonna get the name wrong a bunch of times. Go ahead and tell us what we're giving away, courtesy of Bridwell Pro Rodeos.
So, courtesy of Bridwell Pro Rodeos, I believe you need to like and share Two Mandis on a Mission.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it will get you entered into a drawing for a pair of tickets to the Wednesday night extreme bull riding at the Reading Rodeo the third week of May. If you haven't gone to that one, it's an awesome event, just like the Red Bluff Roundup. Lots of great rodeo action in the North State. We have Stony Ford, we have Clovis, California coming up, Reading, Red Bluff, Sonora, just a whole host of really great rodeos in the North State, and come check us out.
Yes.
Like Two Mandis, like Bridwell Pro Rodeos,
Yes.
and share this video.
Yes.
And what should we comment?
Comment your favorite rodeo gif, and then are we doing a hat too?
Oh, we are.
Because the hats, I mean, these are
look
like
at
my
these
favorites. I think each one of us have a different style hat on right now.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll do
Loving
a
it.
Bridwell swag bag, get you
Oh.
suited up to come to the rodeo, and check us out.
Awesome. So, again, like Two Mandis on a Mission, like Bridwell Pro Rodeo, share the post, comment your favorite rodeo gif, and you'll get 2 tickets to Wednesday night Extreme Bowls, and then a Bridwell Pro Rodeo swag
And I
bag.
think we're going to go enjoy the rest of this sunny day.
Yes, beautiful day out. So thank you guys so much for having us out here and sharing this information with us and the viewers. And yeah, we love coming out here with you guys. It's fun.
Well, thanks for coming.
You're
Come
welcome.
anytime.
All right, bye.
All right, see ya.